Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story of what if Naruto mastered Kurama's chakra earlier. What if Naruto gained control over Kyuubi chakra? During the month of training for the finals of the Chunin exams, what if Jiraiya taught more than summoning? Watch as Naruto takes the whole world by storm with near unstoppable power and unmatched potential, but when the chips are down, it's all or nothing against hidden threats and godlike enemies. Will he survive? Before we start, thank you for all the support, it really means a lot to me. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and check the description for the creator of this great fanfic. And also, as I said, I will be changing the story title to What If Naruto Power of the Tailed Beast, so don't forget that. Let's continue. Chapter 22. An old enemy returns. Disclaimer. To the people who are bitching that the story is progressing too fast, fuck off. The last 5 chapters happened during the time skip, with a few more chapters to go before we hit Shippuden. 3 days later, Hokage's office. Hiruzen looked over the mission report, scanning for anything he could use to reprimand the blonde. After all, for their plan to work, he needed Naruto off the active roster. Naruto. I don't have to tell you how bad an idea it was to fight the Raikage. Do I? Questioned Sarutobi in his deep voice. You risked your own life, and in the process, you used an S-rank assassination jutsu on the current head of Kumo. Naruto had no response. He had done just that, but he had done it as a favor to Hiashi, who had, at least in the recent past, helped the blonde tremendously with the council as well as being a good person to talk to. I know it was a bad idea, Hokage-sama. I take full responsibility for my actions. Sarutobi let out a long sigh. He had wanted a better way to get Naruto the training he needed. But for right now, this would work. Squad 1 will work under a temporary leader while Naruto Uzumaki is placed into the Homeland Security Reserves as punishment. Naruto, appoint a leader and tell me who you want put on your squad. I appoint Shino Aburame, current co-leader of Squad 1, in charge. I would like to appoint Hinata Hyuga as his replacement. Her hand-to-hand combat and tracking skills will help out while I am away. Naruto said without much emotion. Shino walked alongside the blonde and placed a hand on his shoulder, a reassuring nod following. Hiruzen looked over to Shino and Hinata. Shino was as stoic as always, though his hive betrayed his emotions on the subject. Hinata, on the other hand, was visibly shocked, and if the looks she kept giving the blonde were anything to go by, something has happened during the mission. Very well. The appointments to Squad 1 stand. Naruto, report to Sector 7G for your punishment. Kiri outskirts. Jiraiya put away his spyglass and descended down the tree he had been crouched in, heading towards Ao. That confirms it. Yagura is not in the village, as per his secretary, and the heads of the purges are with him. I still don't understand how you got that information out of Mira. She would never break under an enemy's interrogation. Stated Ao, the disbelief clear on his face. Aha. But the gallant Jiraiya does not interrogate women, he woos them into a very receptive state. Stated Jiraiya grandly, his hands flaring out wildly in the air. She's 23, you are almost 50, how did you manage to woo her? Questioned Ao, shaking his head. Jiraiya retrieved his spy glass and extended it. I clubbed her over the head and took her to a nice quiet spot. Are you serious? No, you idiot. I caught her outside of the walls and she informed me that she hated Yagura. She told me everything. Jiraiya said, an indignant look on his face. She even told me that Kiri is on track to host the Chunin and Jonin exams in 1 year. They must think that they will have wiped the rebels out by then. So you never wooed her? I never said that. Defense building, Sector 7G. Naruto arrived to a giant metal door with several locks on it. Danzo was standing at the door, releasing the last lock when the blonde moved beside him. This area was where I mastered my vacuum release and where your father mastered the Hiraishin. Many great shinobi have used these facilities to grow stronger in times of need. Danzo said as he pushed the mighty door open. Hiruzen has informed me that I have 12 months with you. Kakashi and Jiraiya will also be joining me to train you. You will not disappoint me. Naruto looked at Danzo questioningly as he followed the man into a cavernous open room with seemingly endless seals on the walls. Why am I being trained for my punishment? I love training, I don't understand. We don't have the luxury of you progressing normally anymore. The events of your mission have set in motion the beginning of a Cold War. A war in which every country will be building military strength in order to stave off all-out conflict. Much like the beginning of the first war that created both me and Hiruzen, you and a few others are going to be our showpieces. Danzo said as he led Naruto to an apparent sleeping area, filled with beds and other recovery instruments. Jiraiya has reported to us that in 12 months' time, Kiri will be hosting both the Chunin exams and the Jonin exams, whether or not the civil war is still going. With Jiraiya and Fu there, the rebels will have taken the country over. You need to see that you will destroy every person you come up against. By the end of your time with me, you will be a cage-level ninja. 2 hours later, hospital, come on big guy, we need to get you home. Asuma said as he helped Ibiki out of his wheelchair and moved him out into the streets. How you feeling? Like shit, Asuma. It's not pleasant. Ibiki groaned as he moved towards his apartment. How is Anko's team doing? I know she wants them to visit. They're all good. Katetsu and Izumo are still great together. The Hyuga kid is really something and Mebuki is finally back at full speed. That woman can really fight. Stated Asuma with a sigh. That woman reminded him of his late brother's wife. I'll bring them by tomorrow. Lord knows the poor girl could use the visitors. Ibiki simply nodded, not allowing himself to speak of the fact that Danzo had been visiting her until she woke up. Ibiki had to wonder what was up Danzo's sleeve. The man had done a great amount to keep himself and Anko safe, and now he was going to throw everything he could at Ibiki, or so he claimed. He truly wondered how Danzo's daughter had turned out the way she had, but then again, no one had seen her in years. Back in the hospital, Tsunade sat at her desk, wishing that something would break up the boredom of having to file medical charts for the Anbu. Luckily, they had sent over the newest Anbu intelligence trainee to help out. The young pink-haired aspiring medic, a Haruno and the daughter of Mebuki, or so her personality betrayed, had been an incredible asset where paperwork was involved. Here you are, Lady Tsunade, I've alphabetized them like you asked. Sakura said with a slight smile while looking at the clock. Tsunade sighed. The girl was waiting for her old teammate to get back from his mission, apparently they were going to have a spar or something. Of course her old teammate just happened to be the brat. You know he won't be on time. Hell, the little brat might forget entirely. Sakura just let a sad smile cross her face. She looked over Tsunade's desk, spotting a few pictures of Naruto. You're really close to him, aren't you, Lady Tsunade? I guess you could say that. The brat is basically what is left of my family, being an Uzumaki and all. Tsunade said as she looked at the picture of herself, Naruto, Jiraiya, Shizune, and Hiruzen on her desk. She didn't dare tell the girl that she was actually Naruto's listed next of kin, but that was just because he didn't trust the pervert with his house. But I'm going to tell you this. That brat will keep his word. You will get that spar. A knock at the door and a quick response from Tsunade revealed none other than the Hyuga heir, Hinata. Lady Tsunade. If it isn't so much trouble, I'd like to train under you. A Hyuga. A Hyuga wants to learn medicine. Finally. Yes Hinata, with your Byakugan and your chakra control, you would make a fine medic. Tsunade cheered, her dream of seeing just how far a Hyuga could take the skills of a medic finally in her grasp. That also reminded her. You know, Sakura, I've seen your intelligence, and if you have your father's chakra control, you would make a good medic as well. Actually, Lady Tsunade, while I also want to become a medic. I want to be your apprentice, I want to be able to fight the way you do. Hinata said with a great show of confidence, surprising Sakura and triggering a thought in Tsunade's mind. Hinata, what made you choose to ask me? I believe Kurenai Yuhi is your instructor, she's one of the best jonin in the village. Tsunade asked, a suspicion growing in the back of her mind. Well. Flashback Heishi had just arrived back home with his daughters. Hanabi looked about ready to drop, most likely from the rather strenuous week. Hinata, on the other hand, looked ready to collapse into herself. Hanabi, you may go rest. Hinata, follow me to my office. Hinata grew wary. The only times she had been brought to her father's office was when her mother had died and when she had lost to Neji in the Chunin exams, neither had been pleasant memories. Beside that, she wanted to find Naruto and set everything straight, she wanted to go over the remainder of the mission, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't get any alone time with the blonde. Upon arrival at Hiyashi's office, Hinata sat on the pillow allowed for her, while Hiyashi sat on the pillow behind his desk, a serious look on his face as he began. I am no longer going to be quiet about your feelings towards Uzumaki. While I don't agree he is a suitable husband for you, I cannot deny that the influence he has had on you has been outstandingly positive. I will give my blessing if you do begin a non-platonic relationship. But there is something I must know before I give this blessing. Hinata was dumbfounded. Her father was allowing a relationship between her and Naruto. He wasn't picked by the clan, he wasn't even on the list of suitable candidates, let alone her father would give them his blessings to begin a relationship. What might you wish to know, father? Hiyashi remained stoic, however, his mind was rather happy she had not stuttered while she spoke to him. She had come a long way. Naruto will be locked up in Sector 7G for an unforeseen amount of time. Should your affection for the boy last, I will give my permission to begin a relationship, on the condition that he be the one to ask you. You cannot be the one to initiate the relationship. Hinata couldn't even fathom all that Hiyashi had just said, but nodded as her brain began to piece everything together. Alright, father. I will not ask him if it means you give your blessing. Good. Now there is little more I can teach you in the ways of the brutal fist, and with your appointment to Squad 1. I believe you should find someone who specializes in chakra-enhanced combat outside of the clan. I believe, Lady Tsunade would be the best teacher. Flashback end Tsunade's eyes were wide at the end of Hinata's edited explanation, as she had left out the deal she had made with her father. Sector 7G. Tsunade murmured with a faraway look on her face, almost as if she had seen a ghost. Hinata, I will bring the brutal fist to a level only gods could dream of. I accept you as my apprentice. But for now, I must go kill the Hokage. Tsunade swiftly moved out the window. Sakura and Hinata looked out the window for a few seconds, before Tsunade popped her head back in. Training starts at noon tomorrow. Training Field 3, you're invited as well, Sakura. With that, the two girls watched Tsunade slowly make her way to the tower, leaving a wake of people that quickly got out of her way. Hey, Hinata. What's Sector 7G? Gates of Konoha, Gaara, take the mask off. Sighed Tamari while holding her nose in frustration. I see no reason to remove my mask. Stated Gaara, donned in full Anbu uniform. If you don't remember, the last time I was here I crippled one of their ninja and started an invasion that got our cage killed. Gaara, that man was your father. Baki said with a slight show of disdain. While he was very fond of the Jinchuriki, he disliked the callous attitude towards the former leader. I hope I am a better father than that sperm donor. Gaara said before his head shrunk back into his shoulders. Shukaku is frightened. Something dangerous is near. Sector 7G. Are you kidding me, old man? That sounded like Tsunade. Stated a gate guard that had gone unnoticed until he spoke. The Suna group turned to see two new faces in the check-in booth. Hokage-sama will be informed that you are in the village. I advise you check into your hotel before visiting, and just why the hell is that a bad thing? Tsunade's voice echoed over the village. The Hokage. Maybe it would be better if you all just stayed the night in the hotel. Finished the gate guard. Shukaku wants to run. I don't disagree. Oto Orochimaru watched carefully as Kabuto walked into the room, his face flushed with color and no signs of chakra poisoning. Lord Orochimaru, I feel great. What is the curse seal? I've never heard of it. Kabuto said while he touched his bare chest, grating his fingers over the seal that was placed over his heart. The curse seal of life. It is the complete version of the curse seal of heaven. It allows for complete connectivity of the chakra networks of two beings. Whenever you need strength, it will come directly from myself. By the same token, you most likely be able to heal me with the same chakra transference. Orochimaru said while looking over a scroll that sat in his lap. Sir, why haven't you used this before? Questioned Kabuto. This basically allows me to remotely heal you wherever you go. It's outstanding. Because of the tremendous downsides, Kabuto. Anko has the same seal you do. I was forced to deactivate it when I found out the weakness of the seal. All you need to know is, the longer that seal is on you, the harder it is to deactivate. And while your seal is active, I cannot shed my skin, nor can I switch bodies. I plan on deactivating that seal the moment you are healthy and I will be sealing it. Nara resident Shikamaru was relaxing and watching clouds with his father when an Anbu arrived and handed Shikaku a scroll. You are to report to the Hokage's office tomorrow morning at 9. The details are in this scroll. Don't you tell me to calm down. Shikaku looked at the Anbu while registering what he had just heard. What has Lady Tsunade so pissed off? That, I'm sure, is classified. Stated the Anbu before looking back in the direction of the tower. Besides, I left the second I saw it was Tsunade who punched in the door. Sector 7G Naruto looked up at Danzo, his bandaged arm still outstretched from the punch that had dropped him easily. Damn, the old man is freakishly strong. At least he isn't as strong as the Raikage. That punch still felt like hell. Danzo simply looked down at Naruto. He was denied the chance to train the boy as a child. Now, he could mold the boy into the hardened warrior the village needed. Get up, boy. Your shift with Hataki doesn't start for another 30 minutes and I know you're still hiding something from me. Show me what you are hiding. Naruto slowly stood back up, his Kurama cloak pulsing and a chakra chain attaching to the handle to the Kubikiribocho, lifting it off the floor and into Naruto's hand. You want to see everything. Fine, I'll show you. 6 months later Onoki sat behind his desk, shuffling papers and cursing the vast amount of paperwork. You called for me, Gramps? Kuretsuchi asked as she walked into the room. Yes. There are going to be Chunin and Jonin exams being held in Kiri in 6 months. They appear to be coming out of their civil war and the Leaf are their only current allies. Onoki said before looking his granddaughter in the eyes. You are to find 2 other Chunin or special Jonin and begin training. This will be a stage to show the growing power of Iwa. We must show greatness. Hokage Tower Hiruzen looked over the village, the quiet calm masking the raging torrent of change he knew was coming. Over the last 6 months, Hiruzen had implemented several programs to boost the strength of his military. Everyone from Genin to the remaining Sannin were placed into a mandatory training program, focused on making them all into incredibly more well-rounded fighters, something the Leaf had always been famous for. He had gone so far as to begin accepting a larger number of A and S rank missions, having lesser experienced ninja complete them with the help of the more experienced ninja. Luckily, Naruto had been able to lead Squad 1 during his training breaks. They had been the team to complete the largest number of high-ranked missions. He turned back to his desk, looking over the files of the ninja he would be sending to the Chunin and Jonin exams in Kiri. Naruto. The file was incredibly outdated. Still listing the skill set he showed in the Chunin exams almost a year and a half ago. Hiruzen knew better. With 6 months of high-level missions and almost non-stop training, the boy was becoming something of a monster. Jiraiya had reported that Naruto nearly matched Kisame Hoshigaki in pure chakra reserves, and to boot the boy had Anbu-level chakra control, something that just shouldn't have been possible. Then again, Naruto was not normal. Danzo didn't train normal ninja. And neither did Jiraiya. Kumo, do you 3 understand why I am sending you to the Jonin exams? Asked, his eyes narrowing at Killer B. Damn it, B. Flirt with Mabui on your own time. I believe it's because we have the most experience of the Chunin in the village, sir. Samui said, expertly ignoring her sensei's antics, before looking over Omoi and Karui. Also, we are highly visible, with Killer B and Yugito Ni as our senseis, it would make sense to send us. Aside as he was reluctant to let B continue to flirt with his secretary. Partially. Konoha will most likely be sending the members of Squad 1 to both the Chunin and Jonin exams. You know them the best, giving you more allies. Especially if one country decides to use the exams as a chance to overstep their bounds. Understood, Raikage-sama. Suna, so we are in agreement. We will send Tamari, Kankuro and Gaara to the Jonin exams. One councilman asked. I still do not believe it wise to risk Tamari in such a way. Should she be injured, or heaven forbid killed, the alliance could fall through. Stated Yura, a younger member of the council that had recently been appointed. I will ensure that they are strong enough to survive. Besides, the Konoha team is the biggest threat and they will either let them pass or simply defeat them. We have nothing to worry of her or either boy dying. Stated Baki, his confident half-smile showing behind his cowl. Very well, begin their training at once. Gaara will be temporarily removed from the Anbu rotations. Training Ground 3, come on, Hinata, you have to do better than that. Tsunade shouted while dodging a brutal fist strike that would have blown a hole into her abdomen. Sakura, time your release better, you're still wasting chakra. Hinata looked much different. 6 months of training under the blonde Sannin had changed her in ways that completely smashed her old confidence problem, turning the Hyuga heiress into an extraordinary combat ninja, though the girl still acted kind and meek towards others. Tsunade was glad that her apprentices were both kind people. The 16-year-old Hyuga now sported an outfit extremely similar to Tsunade's. Matching V-cut blouse, though with considerably less cleavage being shown. Not that Hinata's growing figure didn't fill out the outfit. Black ninja pants that allowed the girl to use her hybrid taijutsu style, and high-heel sandals that were dark orange in color completed the outfit. Though when she wasn't fighting, she would wear a thin jacket with the Hyuga symbol embroidered on her back. Sakura had changed much the same, her outfit replaced with a red tank top and black ninja pant that ended below her knee, black high-heel sandals and 2 medical pouches on her hips. Her headband now used to hold her growing hair back, which reached almost to her mid-back. Hinata charged again, only for Tsunade to appear behind her and crush her into the ground with a leg drop before peeling off and landing a punch on Sakura's shoulder, sending the girl flying. Not good enough, girls. I don't even need a drink, you better do better than that. Nara complex, why do we have to plan this troublesome wedding? It's our troublesome son getting married, make him plan it. Shikaku complained as he fell out of his chair and looked at the ceiling, his mind imagining the clouds. Dear, the bride's family is paying for it, and your son is lazier than you are. Now get back up here and help me set a guest list. This wedding is in 8 months and we don't even know who your son is going to want to stand up in it. Oh, now he's my son, not our son. Troublesome. Namikaze estate to Yuya and Karen sat at the table. With Fu and Kiri and Naruto spending a huge majority of his time in Sector 7G, the house was empty. Thankfully, Naruto's team would spend some nights there in the spare rooms, helping fill some of the empty space in the house. Across from them were Choji and Shino, both enjoying the meal that Choji and Tayuya had made for dinner. So where's Hana and Hinata? Usually they are here too. Come to think of it, I haven't seen Ino or Sakura here much either. Karen said as she continued to eat. Come to think of it, Tamari is still in town, we should have invited her. Hinata is busy training with Sakura. I believe it's one of Tsunade-sama's angry days, as Hinata calls it. Stated Shino with a small pause to chew. Hana is out on a mission to the bordering villages with her mother. Ino has to tend the flower shop this week because the IT department is going through a training session. Stated Choji. I think Tamari is there as well, picking out flowers for the wedding. I miss Shithead. When do you think he will be back? Tayuya asked. We only see him during high-level missions anymore, and poor princess still hasn't had the chance to mount him. I believe that Naruto should be ending the training he is receiving soon. Last we spoke, he said he has only one more obstacle in his way. Shino said, having no clue that obstacle was none other than Danzo. As wrong as it sounds, I can't wait until he gets back. I wonder how long he lasts in bed. Karen wondered out loud, getting Choji to cough on his food. Or maybe that was the Tayuya's foot that was lightly teasing him under the table. I would like it better if you refrained from asking such questions. Naruto-senpai is basically spoken for. Shino said before reaching into his overcoat and removing a tomato, closely inspecting it while giving it a few light squeezes. What are you, squishy fruit? Well, bug boy, maybe you could keep Karen in line. Tayuya joked, her tone humorous. After all, you're Naruto's right-hand man, I'm sure you could handle little Karen. Karen was about to interject before Shino beat her to it. Perhaps. Unknown location, this arming phase that the world is going through is beginning to endanger our operations. Pain said dangerously, all the members sensing his displeasure in his tone. Zetsu reports that all major villages are increasing strength in order to match each other. Just send me and Kakuzu. It's not like we can die. Said Hidan with a cocky smirk. Silence, Hidan, this is not a situation to laugh about. Pain barked. As it stands, the countries that house Jinchuriki are growing stronger every day. We need to begin moving now. Due to the fact that Itachi's and my targets are both at the end of the order, do you want us to help with other captures, or gain funds? Kisame asked, his shark-like teeth showing in the dark room. For now, you will all be gaining bounties and getting stronger. Zetsu claims that the exams in Kiri may hold one, if not more targets, besides the Rokubi that has yet to reform and Yagura, who has not yet been informed dead. Stated Pain, casting a glance at Itachi. Itachi, Kisame. Go to Kiri and track down either of those targets. Sasori and Deidara will meet you there. With any luck, the Sanbi or Rokubi will be available when you arrive. If they are not, wait until the exams start and isolate the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. Kisame, I want him crippled and captured, he is becoming too strong, and we cannot seal the Kyuubi until last. Itachi, either separate him from his team or capture Yagura. Oto, hello, Sasuke, how have you been holding up? Kabuto asked as he looked into Sasuke's cell, seeing the Uchiha do push-ups. Fuck off 4 eyes, stated Sasuke as he continued training. How original. Are you ready to cooperate? Lord Orochimaru would greatly appreciate you accepting the inevitable and allowing your curse seal to be repaired. Kabuto asked, his smile gone, replaced by a scowl. The worst mistake you could have made was telling me that. I refuse to join you and Orochimaru. You are both weak, stated Sasuke. Even if Orochimaru offered to return your parents to you. 6 months later, good. Now tell me why taijutsu is the most important skill as a shinobi. Jiraiya said as he looked over the sitting form of his blonde-haired student. Because it requires the least chakra. It is the most widely used and diverse skill used by shinobi. Naruto replied as he stretched out, the tattered remains of his outfit tight around his impressively increased size and bulk. Naruto had gone full tilt into his training, not that Danzo would allow him to do any different, and now looked like the man sitting before him. Naruto had let his hair grow out, allowing him to use several of the hair-based jutsu that Jiraiya had taught him. His shoulders and back growing into a wide and sturdy frame that made the Kubikiribocho look almost small for the teen, who had shot up to leave him at about 5'10", just as tall as Kakashi, who had commented on their, now shared, eye level. Jiraiya nodded, scanning his pupil once again. He knew from their spars that the blonde was strong, forcing Jiraiya to enter Sage mode to defeat the blonde, who could now use an incredible 70% blast of Kurama's chakra. Naruto was now the second or third most powerful ninja in the village, only himself and Danzo being able to match and defeat the blonde, though Hiruzen had begun training again and was quite possibly on Danzo's level. And what was the most important lesson you learned under my teachings? Jiraiya asked. Keep my junk clean. No. Well, yes, but most important ninja lesson I taught you. Clarified Jiraiya. To never assume I understand the situation completely. I will always be marginally wrong. Stated Naruto. That's my boy, now let's. The village is under attack. Naruto, Jiraiya, you will be with me. Hokage office, 5 minutes earlier, how is his progress? Questioned Hiruzen. Danzo grinned from his spot across from Hiruzen. He is ready. Ready. He still has a month left. Sarutobi gaped. 11 months. Things have changed so much in that time, just like the first war. The boy is ready, Hiruzen. Stated Danzo once again. He is more than ready for the exams in Kiri. I dare say that he could single-handedly take down Yagura, should he come out of hiding. Lord Hokage. Sputtered the Anbu that appeared next to the desk in a crouch. Flying ninja spotted over the southern forest. ETA of 6 minutes. Flying. What were they wearing? Commanded Hiruzen. All gray with purple or black face masks. Stated the Anbu. They were attached to large metal wings. The land of sky. We wiped them out years ago. Snarled Danzo. It appears not. Stated Hiruzen seriously. Danzo, retrieve Naruto and Jiraiya, you will fight them head on. Lizard, sound the alarms, get the civilians to safety and stage a counter force. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like for more what ifs and support the author. See you guys in the next video.